What if the whole conditioning that you received as a child, as a person, that if you be yourself too much, then there will be repercussions. Instead of that, what if what if by actually being your true self, you will be able to earn even more money? Create a successful life, whatever that looks like to you. I know this is very much in conflict with what you were taught, what you were programmed as. For example, just think of that scenario when your relatives or a special guest would be coming home. Were you told that put all of this stuff in another room, this shouldn't be visible? Don't say this in front of Masi. Don't bring this up. Don't act like this. Wear these kinds of clothes. You were indirectly told that who you are is good enough to stay within these four walls. But beyond that, others should not know it, because then you will be rejected. You will be seen as less because you have to appear as a different version of you, which is more externally driven, to be valued by people. Now, the other side of it, there are certain people on this planet who are specially conscious creators, who have understood through their own journeys that this doesn't work. When you actually let your light shine, let your quirks, let your uniqueness be out there in the world, you actually make more money, but that kind of money is more aligned. You feel also satisfied in the process. You attract your kind of people in your life. If you want that life, you want that life of, really exciting opportunities and incredible offers, like you're waking up to people messaging you, mailing you that, hey, you put that video out there, or I heard you there and I was so inspired, I bought your program, whatever it is, whatever your vision is. If you want to wake up to these messages while you are being you, the raw, the vulnerable, the real you, then you're gonna learn exactly that in this video. So first, understand, where does this even come from? You were literally trained to shrink. For example, were you told, be like your father, he's such an amazing man, or be like your grandfather, or maybe be like your mother? Or were you constantly compared with this one person, one child who was always outperforming others? Could be Sharma ji ka beta, whoever, if you know, you know. Or the worst and the most prevalent one, what will people think? What happened was, just by receiving all this programming, you learned that you have to be more aware of what are other people thinking of you and how do they perceive you, rather than being connected with your own inner voice. That's why your decisions started becoming about other people's expectations of you, and that fully reflects in your business as well. That's why you might have those moments when you feel like, I have so much to give, I have so much to share, I have so many specialities, but I'm just not able to share it with people. And especially when you look at somebody else having those qualities and expressing them, you have that burning feeling the most. So a few years back, if you are following me since then you would know that I started making my own talk show. Like, I was hosting it, producing it, and it was full fire, loaded with creativity, miracles happening every day, because I was being myself and I was in full flow, being this magnetic energy. The moment this show was made, I made a mistake, which was, I thought that now I don't know what to do with the show, so I'm gonna speak to a lot of experts and take their advice, make a strategy, make a plan based on, their advices. And what went wrong there was, no two people have the same opinions. Everybody's coming from their own understanding, their knowledge, their past, their upbringing, their own influences, right? And when you gather and collect so many point of views about certain thing, and especially about your own self, you get confused. What is real then? And moreover, who am I? I don't even know who am I in this moment. I literally would do 7 sales calls a day. I tried my best. I did all the right things. I wasn't able to get the result I wanted, because in the process, I forgot who I was. My aura, my true essence was all down the drain. It was hiding in my almirah, in my cupboard, because I thought I have to now act a certain way, exactly what the experts advised me to. So there is other side to it as well. I'm a chartered accountant, and then eventually I started my coaching business. Now, in the beginning, I would wonder, like, how as a coach am I supposed to speak and like present myself. The thing is that I have been coaching people since years, like more than a decade. I was just doing it as a hobby. So in that process, I was being myself. But when I started doing the exchange with money, I was like, oh, no, 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 no. I have to now appear serious and like, a stuck up person who knows what she's doing. The thing is, that was never required because people were anyway coming to me because they saw my light. Nobody gives a shit about the jargons you use. We all are intuitive, energetic people. We all are drawn by energy. Everything else comes later. Your strategy, your techniques, your tools, all of that comes later. So now when I sit and just check my funnels, like where did this person find me and then how did they join my paid program? I have so many funnels open that I'm not even aware of when people give me that feedback that Yuvika, I found you from that community and then I joined your program. I'm like, whoa, I wasn't even aware that I was that magnetic in that community that people thought that let me join her program, right? So you start attracting more and more and more of what you desire when you're truly being yourself. And what does that mean? We'll get into it in a second. So basically, business does not reward perfection, it rewards presence. So when you're fully being yourself, your energy field expands to a level that even before you speak, people can really perceive your energy. So now the real question is, how do you go from acting small, playing small, to shining your true light out in the world? So you got to start with the basics, with the fundamentals. What is that? What is that? If you're following my channel by now, you would know. Reconnect with your younger self. Ideally, your first 10 years of your life. Who were you then? What was your energy like? What did people say about you? Like, you know what? Like, Yuvika is just so enthusiastic. She's so creative. So, my mom used to call me Titli. And I, as an adult, started reconnecting with the energy of that. What does that mean? Who was I being at that time that my mom started calling me Titli? And Titli means butterfly. And who I was essentially being was, being this very light and energized and inspired and always up person. And I realized that that is who I am. It's not something I have to work towards to become as an adult. It's just that I got to reconnect with that beingness in me of being a Tatli. So, so what you got to do is you can in fact open your journal and you can write stuff down, like I'm remembering that I used to be very creative, I used to be very imaginative, I used to come from school, I would not eat, I would just throw my bag away and I would open my diary and start writing stuff, or I would start creating something from my blocks, or I would create something with clay, or I would just go out and play with my friends. I was an amazing leader. Whatever that is, get present with that. If you don't do it now, you are leaving money on table and you're like, what is the connection between me connecting with my first 10 years of life and leaving money on table? That exact energy was the one that was magnetic and creating a lot of amazing stuff in your life. And when you bring that energy to your current life, you literally, without even doing anything, you become that person who attracts such opportunities and offers. And I can say that to you right now with utmost confidence is because I have created fully sponsored trips to Switzerland, offers to speak in Australia, London, in Bali. I'm literally attracting incredible stuff every day. From it's not just about business, it's like this energy of life. Now that you're reconnecting with your younger self, you are going to go a little deeper, and this is something that we work on in our programs, in which you actually relive that past that will act as an enabler in your current life as an adult. So usually what we do is we are living in a past, but the kind of past that wounded us, that hurt us, it is also important for healing, not to live in it, right? But when you relive that past in which you were actually being your true self with your true colors, what you do is you somehow subconsciously allow yourself today as an adult to open those doors and become that person again. So what you will do is, either while watching the video or even later, those incredible memories from your childhood will start coming to you in which you were actually being yourself. So the memory that recently came to me was that moment when I was sitting in front of my mom was ironing the clothes, I was feeling a little bored and I was asking my mom what to do, and she said, okay, I have a challenge for you. till the time I finish off ironing the clothes, what if you draw Hanumanji, right? And I used to draw a lot and I was really good at it at that time. And I was like, cool. So it was a challenge for her that in such short amount of time, how can I make entire Hanumanji? And you know that they wear jewelry and clothes, and so it has a lot of detailing in it. And I remember fully losing my mind and being so present that I forgot time. I became timeless. And I drew the thing, drew Hanumanji, and my mom was like, what? I still have a few clothes left. And I remember her expression. I was like, okay, apparently it's a big deal, it's a special thing. So when I relived that moment again and again in my own meditation in the morning, what happened was I started feeling that there is some reawakening happening inside me of the creative side of me. Now, creative doesn't necessarily mean that you have to pick up paints and draw something, paint something. Business is creative. Business is an act of creation. Life is an act of creation. The only thing is it becomes stagnant because you think that you're not the one who is actually creating it. And yes, sometimes that is true when people are only taking orders from other people and that they have no say in their life. It could be their spouse, it could be their boss, it could be their investor. Even in business, a lot of people live as if they have no control, they have no say. And that is why even business starts feeling like somebody's choking your throat, right? Now that you have connected with your younger self to this level, we're going to go even deeper now. So now you can even close your eyes. Imagine that the younger self is getting integrated in your current self. You may even imagine that the younger self is outgrowing, is growing in your body. And you can even imagine that the energy of your younger self is fully occupying your current self. Now, this is how you surpass the reality of hard work by training your subconscious to be your true self. So far we have been talking about your past self, right? Because that is where the gold lies, that is where your true self lies. But also there's another version of you who is living the kind of life that you want. Who is that? Your future self. Now, how we look at our future is mostly from a present state. So we're here and we're looking at the future in the future. So it's always out of reach. It's always out there and never here, because what's here is the present. But that's not true. Present is either influenced by the past or the future. So what if you started getting clear of what your future self looks like and start tapping into it on a daily basis as if it's happening right now. So play with this. Ask yourself some possibility-oriented questions again. Like, for example, when I'm being myself, what am I wearing? How am I speaking? Who am I speaking to? What kind of people am I attracting in my business, right? As my clients, as my staff, maybe investors. How confident am I feeling in being myself? And maybe you have some quirks, maybe you have a different story that you haven't told people yet and you're sharing that with the world. And what does that feel like? So you're literally watching your future self live that life. Like, it's not imaginative, it's not a fantasy, you're literally watching your future self live that life. And what you will do is you will step into that future self and you're going to watch your life exactly that way. So you're training your subconscious that it's not something that will happen later, you will choose later, you're choosing it right now. Why? Because you can see it and you can feel it and you are actually tapping into it. So in those 5 or 10 minutes of visualization, you are seeing that happen around you. That's very potent, and that's something that we practice on every session. In every session, we will always tap into the future self so that people are feeling that they're already there, and they're already there. So their subconscious is getting trained and their actions change, their decisions change. How they see themselves change. And that's why how they present themselves, how they express themselves changes as well. So the goal is not only you're enough, but you're more than enough. You are special. It's not coming from a space of entitlement, which social media is doing to a lot of people. This is coming more from a space of every individual, including you. You are unique. You have your own unique energy field. You have your own unique story to tell. Your journey of progressing, your journey of evolving, which is super valuable to so many people that you haven't even met yet. You are going to. At the same time, I highly recommend to surround yourself with people who are also in a similar journey to, really tap into their realness. What will happen is, just by listening to their stories, their sharings, their progress, you will be able to progress faster, because subconsciously you will be getting permission slips. Oh, if this person can do it who is in a journey like me, I can do it as well. So the speed of you choosing more and more and more will fasten. And one way you can do that is by joining our WhatsApp community. It's free, and that is where I share my intuitive messages, and people share their successes and their progress in that community. And even for me, when I read them, I'm inspired. And if you're serious enough to take your mindset to the next level so that you can take your life and your business and your money journey to another level, then Money Power Circle is the right place for you, because that is where you discover the power that is already within you so that you can use it and channel it to create incredible stuff, but effortlessly. That is our mantra. So I want to hear from you. Write in the comments that what version of you, that younger version, that true version of you, are you now ready to bring up in your life and in your business? I'm Yuvika, your mindset shifting coach. I'm going to see you in the next video.